If your sales team isn't stalking their prospects like Jeffrey Dahmer, odds are you're not hitting your monthly sales goals. This is exactly what I mean when we say that we hire killer sales reps. All right. Anyways, but seriously, your reps should be studying prospects so hard that it feels like an FBI case file for every detail, every clue, every behavior, because the reps who know the most typically close the most. And most sales teams that I see, they're super lazy with their research. They hop on calls blind. There's no background, there's no prep. Maybe they know the company name, the prospect name, and maybe just a little bit about the industry, but they don't actually know the type of person that they're talking to. And then they start to wonder why deals fall apart. Because the biggest thing that I see is you can't build trust with someone that you know nothing about. You can't personalize a conversation if you don't even know how the prospect sounds or what the prospect actually cares about. And if you're still teaching your sales team to build this rapport by talking about the weather, hey man, how's the weather today? That is the biggest bullshit that I've seen anyone teach. And that's just the fakest connection ever. And what that's going to do is that's just going to lower status. Real connection is built on actually researching and stalking the prospect. And with us, we train teams to become intelligently obsessed. Your setters, for example, their job is to dig deep, not just qualify leads, but to actually collect intel. They should know, number one, what's going on in the prospect's business right now. Number two, where are they losing money? Who's on their team? Who's the involved decision makers? What current tools are they using right now? How the prospect talks, what type of personality they are, and then even more personal context like family, hobbies, and how stressed they are. And that's really how you start to actually see the person. And as far as the closers go, the closers should not just be hopping on calls. The closers have to actually do their own research as well. Just like if you are Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, you are dissecting the other team's defense the week before in practice, in the film room. It's the same thing as a closer. You should be dissecting the previous setter call. You should actually be looking up, maybe you can look them up on LinkedIn, Facebook, because yes, it does sound creepy, but the more information that you have about a prospect, the more you're able to close. And you should really be able to know a prospect so well that when they hop on the call, it feels like you guys have been friends for years. So the process with this is extremely simple. Number one, setters should collect everything: notes, personality cues. They should start to build a case on this prospect, what they find interesting about the call, what they're looking for more specifically. And then closers, like I said, they should be reviewing every single note before that call because they should be walking in prepared, not guessing. The last thing that you want to do as a closer or have your closers do is just to look over the notes 5 minutes before the call. You should spend every single morning as a closer actually reviewing, okay, I got John at 8 a.m. John is this type of personality. John is from Kentucky. He's, this, he likes this, he doesn't like this. These are exactly what you should be taken into consideration because yes, at the end of the day, you are selling a product, but you're selling to humans. And the better that you can relate to these people, the better you're going to be able to close. And as far as sales managers and owners go, they should be enforcing all of this. There shouldn't be any lazy notes from the setters, and absolutely no blind calls from the closers. You should be able, as a business owner or as a sales manager, reach out to your top closer and say, hey, you got this call with John at 8 a.m. Tell me about him. And this guy should have a complete file about every single detail about this prospect, how the setter call went, personal information about his business. And that tiny habit alone, I've seen boost close rates 20 to 30%. So, for example, here's a system. I've actually tried this out with one of my teams. After every single call that's booked in, a setter gives a 30-second summary of that conversation. They include the prospect's tone, the objections they gave them, the personality, what their motivation is for hopping on the call, and then closers listen in before every single meeting and then do their own research. This makes every call feel seamless and not cold. If the closers are able to know exactly what the objections are that they've given them on the previous call, there's no reason why you should be flying blind in the second call and not knowing that. That's the last thing you should do. But once you start to build out the system for your sales team, like I said, close rate should jump 20 to 30% easily. And typically, what I see when people start to implement this is their energy on the calls just completely shift. Prospects start to open up more. They feel seen. They feel understood and respected because with this system, it's not fake rapport. It's actually real connection because you're not just selling to a lead anymore. You're talking to a human that you actually understand. Because the biggest thing is when a prospect feels understood, they stop resisting. And that's typically when deals start to close smoother, faster, and way cleaner. So, yeah, maybe your sales teams shouldn't stalk as crazy as Jeffrey Dahmer, but they should be detectives in their own lane. And the biggest takeaways is number one, closers should know everything before the call. They should build real connection on that, not fake report. And they should be able to turn all that information into empathy and turn that empathy into closing more deals. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you're looking to do this for your sales teams and implement the exact systems that I do for all of my B2B sales teams, feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to me on Instagram at John P. Mag.